May I respectfully remind you, life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly and opportunity is lost. Each of us must strive to awaken. Awaken. Take heed and do not squander your lives. Hello again, and welcome to the second part, the continuation of our story from before, the story of the man hanging between the two tigers on his vine, with every day and every night personified in those mice eating away at his life. What is a life? What is this tremendous gift that you and I are living right now? What are we to say about it, if anything at all? What are we to do with it, if anything at all? I'd like to, after having told you the story about the man and the two tigers, I'd like to give you an image, perhaps that you and I can pay attention to. I'd like you to picture a razor blade, a very, very sharp, brand new razor blade with just one edge, a very, very sharp edge. And I want you to picture that along that edge there has been drizzled honey, a nice line of honey, right on top of that straight edge, that razor blade. And you are holding the razor blade in your hand. And you would love to have that honey. It's just so appealing to you. And you can have it, but you know that in taking that honey, you're going to have to be very, very careful and very, very creative as to how you approach the honey. You can go straight down on the razor blade and lick the honey off the edge of the razor, or you can come at it from the sides and lick upwards. But even then, in both instances, of course in the first instance, but in the second instance, you are also going to be getting, with the sweetness and the heaviness of the honey, you're going to be getting the blood, the salt, the water, and perhaps a little bit of your tongue taken in with that honey. This is your life, and this is my life from the perspective of Zen. That man who was hanging between the two tigers on that vine is going to die eventually. He has one opportunity, and that opportunity is given to him in the strawberry. He takes the strawberry in with a smile on his face and he enjoys it. He is hanging on the razor's edge, and the razor's edge is his life. Your life and my life is a razor's edge, and you and I are asked to lick the honey off the edge of the razor. And you know that if you want the honey, you must take with it the blood, the salt, the pain, the sorrow that comes with it. This is life from the Zen perspective. It is a startling image, and yet I think it tells a deep and a very profound truth. Your life and my life are like this. We're always licking the honey. We're always wanting and needing to lick the honey so that we can be happy, so that we can be in the zone of contentment, or also happiness, the comfort zone. But when you lick the honey off the edge of that razor, you're also going to be getting the pain, the blood, and with that, there is enjoyment. Yes, that's a strange word to use under these circumstances, but what life is telling you and me is you can't have the good stuff, the sweet stuff, unless oftentimes you suffer for it and suffer through it. Nothing is purely given to you without some kind of admixture of work, effort, pain. You and I would like to have happiness. We want to be in the comfort zone. But life is always telling you and me that life is not about being in the comfort zone. It's about enjoying. It's about growing. It's about having life be for us grist for the mill of our growth. But you and I are so tied up with our lives. We're so tied up with our agenda. We're so given to our drama that our life becomes the most important thing to us. And heaven forfend that we should ever lose it, or that we must suffer with it, or that it's going to hurt us in any way. We always want life to be different from what it is. Life is never different from what it is. It is neither fair nor unfair. The tigers are always there. The mice are always there. The vine is always becoming thinner and thinner. The razor is there, and we are always licking it. And in licking it, we say our blessings are mixed. With a little bit of happiness comes a little bit of pain and suffering. Where is the happiness? Why do I have so much pain and suffering? When Buddha was asked about this, when these questions came to Buddha, he simply kept quiet. We are not here to be metaphysical about our lives. We are here, from the Buddha's perspective, to enjoy the present moment. An interesting statement, and it's one that has really helped to turn my life around, is a statement made by Charlotte Joko Beck in her first book on Zen. She says, and I quote, "Your life is none of your business." Let me repeat that. Your life, my life, is none of our business. Well, then whose business is it if it's not my business, if it's not your business? I don't know whose business it is, but it's certainly, my life is certainly none of my business. If I could give my life over to, let's say, God, or to the universe, or to some power greater than I'm certain that that power would live my life, or take my life and use my life much better than I'm doing with it. And I suspect that you might probably feel the same. Well, then what is our life about? Why do we have a life? Why are we in life? From the Zen perspective, we are in life to enjoy it all, and not to ask that it be any different from what it is. That is perhaps our greatest problem. We're always asking that life be different from what it is. And as I said before, life can never be different from what it is. The tigers are always there. The vine is always becoming thinner and thinner. And the passage of the white mouse and the black mouse are always there, nipping away at our days, nipping away at our nights, shortening our lives. Well, then what are we to do about that except, as I've said before, to stay in the present moment and to enjoy it all, and perhaps to move to bliss, or ecstasy, or rapture? What would help you and me to do this? What would help you and me to stop complaining, so that every time we lick the honey from the razor's edge and we come up with blood and salt, as well as with honey, we didn't sit there just complaining about it all? Well, how about this? To what can you say in your life, to what can you say, it's all right, it's okay? Can you say it's all right or it's okay to everything? I suspect that you and I can't. For example, if you or I were to win the lotto, we'd say, oh, that's okay, it's all right. Although that comes with its own problems, doesn't it? You lick the honey off the razor's edge, you've won the lotto, but your life has changed considerably, and you're getting sometimes a lot of blood and a lot of salt. Can you say, oh, I've just fallen in love with somebody, and she's fallen in love with me, and it's okay, that's wonderful, that's beautiful. It presents its own problems, even though it's a great mystery. Charlotte Joko Beck says, think of all of the things to which you can say, it's okay, and then think of those things to which you cannot say, it's okay. Zen tells us when you come to the very first thing to which you cannot say, it's okay, that is where your work begins. When you come to something in your life to which you cannot say, it's okay, then that's where your work towards your enlightenment begins. A truly enlightened human being is a human being who can say, it's okay to everything. Now, while that is an incredible ideal, and a worthy, perhaps a worthy aspiration, not perhaps, but definitely a worthy aspiration, we are perhaps not about to achieve that state. But the important thing, as far as the Buddha was concerned, is not arriving, but moving along the path, being involved in the process. The very fact of making the attempt to say it's okay to everything is enlightenment itself. Now, does that mean that we can't change things and make the world better? Absolutely not. But what the Buddha said was, and what Zen sees, is that this very moment, as it is given to you and to me, this very moment, not the one before it, not the one after it, but this very moment, as it is given to you and me, is perfect as it is. When the next moment comes along, that too will be perfect as it is. You and I can do the best that we can to ensure that the next moment that comes along perhaps is a greater state of perfection, has less pain, less suffering in it perhaps, less attachment than this moment, but each and every moment as it is given to us is perfect in and of itself. Each and every moment as it is given to us, as we hang between those tigers, and the white mouse and the black mouse are doing their job, and as we are licking honey off the razor's edge, that moment is perfect. It can't be any better than it is in that moment. And again, that's why when you and I say, well, it's not fair, life is not fair, or there's no happiness here, or whatever, that's not the case. In that very, very moment, life is what it is. And you and I are experiencing perfection. Your problem and my problem is that we wouldn't know perfection if we saw it. Why? Because we're seeing something. We're not looking into it. When you look into it, and you go beyond the appearances of it, and look into the heart and the soul and the essence of this particular experience in this given moment, it's perfect the way it is. And again, that doesn't mean that the next moment will not have less pain, less suffering, more joy, or whatever. But each and every moment is a gift. I've already said that. It is the strawberry. And you and I are asked to take it, to enjoy it, to bring it into ourselves, and to have it become us, and to have us become it. There is pain and there is suffering in life. That's not to be avoided. You and I are physical, emotional, spiritually oriented, psychological, soulful beings. And to the degree that we are, we will experience pain and suffering. However, given all of that being true, we must understand that the pain will be there, but suffering is an option. The word suffering comes from the two words suffer, to bear up under. In your truly enlightened state, or in your movement towards your enlightenment, if you recognize and believe and realize that each and every moment is perfect as it is, then you can enjoy it, and you can decide as to whether or not you wish to suffer through it, in it, for as long as you want to, and then give up the suffering, or to continue that. This is part of what comes with the gift of life. This is part of what comes with the strawberry. The man hanging between the two tigers is in pain, and perhaps he is suffering, but when he sees the strawberry is a revelation to him. He licks the honey off the razor's edge, and he smiles, and he enjoys it, because this moment is perfect. It is the only moment that is here in this moment, in his breath and in his enjoying the perfection of it. And so the smile comes to his face.